Hi. The first step is initiating the project. Formally, the project is kickstarted, and this is done by the sponsor. So, sponsor is the person who funds the project. It can be an individual, or it can be an entity, or it can be a group of companies. So, sponsor is the person who is funding the project. So when we start a project, all we have is the sponsor and the money and the project idea. So the sponsor initiates the project and he prepares a project charter. A project charter is prepared by the sponsor. When we say prepare, it doesn't mean that the sponsor makes it literally types it. It can be prepared by anybody, but the sponsor signs on it. And the charter is typically a 4 to 5 page document which contains the business case of the project, how much is the investment, what is the payback period, what are all the forecasted cash flows, the benefit cost ratio, what are the alternatives considered. So all these things become part of the business case. And sometimes the acceptance criteria of the project is also defined there high level, and it contains the high level scope. Let's say I'm starting the construction of a house. At this stage, all I will know is I need a house, maybe 3 to 4 bedrooms and 1 living space, 1 guest room and a dining room and a kitchen and a car park. But we don't know the dimensions of this room, so we call it as a high-level scope. Then the charter contains the key stakeholders of the project. The stakeholder is anybody who is affected positively or negatively by doing a project or by delaying a project is a stakeholder. So anybody who is impacted by the project, the key stakeholders comes in, gets into the charter. Basically, the charter will have their name, contact details, and those kind of information. Then this is a great opportunity to define the roles and responsibilities of the key stakeholders, including the sponsor. See, sometimes when you look at a project, there could be multiple project managers. So sometimes we get the customer's project manager, the supplier's project manager, the consultant's project manager. So there will be a lot of stakeholders like this, and it's quite likely that there is a responsibility overflow, responsibility mismatch means there will be collision of interest, or there will be redundancy of role. So all these things can be taken care of by defining the roles and responsibilities of the key stakeholders up front. Then project manager is also a key stakeholder. So in the charter, in the initiation phase, in the charter, the appointed project manager's name will be there. Roles and responsibilities will be there. So this is the only document which identifies and defines the roles and responsibilities of the project manager and approved by the project sponsor. Because of this, we say the project charter gives authority to the PM, because his name is there, roles and responsibilities are there, and it is signed by the senior management representative or the sponsor. So that gives authority to the project manager. Then the charter contains the major milestones with dates and stuff like that, high-level risk assumptions. All these things gets into the charter. We already discussed that the charter gives authority to the project manager. So the first step in the initiation, that is develop project charter done by the sponsor, is taken care of. Then the next step is stakeholder register, preparation of a stakeholder register, which will contain the key stakeholder details. Then the stakeholder prioritization based on their ability or the power to influence the project and their interest in the project. With these two parameters, we develop a stakeholder, we do the stakeholder prioritization, and we develop strategies to deal with the stakeholders' interests. To summarize, the first step in project management is project initiation. It is done by the sponsor, a charter is prepared, a project manager is appointed, key stakeholders are identified, everybody's roles and responsibilities are defined, and the charter is prepared and released with the approval of the sponsor. And because of this, we say the charter gives authority to the project manager. The next step in initiation is identifying the stakeholders and then preparing a stakeholder register, and you get into stakeholder prioritization and you develop strategies to deal with the stakeholders. With this, the first step in professional project management, that is project initiation, is taken care of. Very often we say that a project failed at the beginning, not at the end, because if you start a project which doesn't have the business case, then it will be a disaster. Or you appoint a project manager who doesn't have the domain knowledge, that will be a disaster. So a good chartering process, a good project charter, a good initiation process ensures that only the right projects are initiated within the organization, and before starting the project itself, we have done enough analysis to ensure the smooth functioning, the smooth planning and execution of the remaining part of the project. Thank you.